Welcome to MW Outdoors and the Wilcox family. I'm Ken Wilcox. Today I want to go through our food plots. Last year we put in 3 food plots with a small water pond. We want to explain to you what worked well and what we changed this year. Last year we went with Rotten Ready, which the deer just loved. They tore it up. It's all annual grasses. It's got your turnips, your radishes, your collar in it. We went with the Banquet, which has 3 different types of white clover in it. So even though it's annual, you got your perennial clover in there that comes up for the next 3 years. That worked out great. The deer really chewed that up as well. The third plot we tried was oats with some red clover. That did not go over so well. We were hoping the oats would keep the deer around. They would bed in that, and they did not. So we tore that up this year and put that clover under since it's a tougher clover. And we planted that to soybeans, and we're hoping that's going to work well. We also want to do some habitat for the pheasants to try to build up our pheasant population. So we went down to our local Menards and we bought some birdseed. Now what you're looking for in that birdseed are only a few things. You don't want the thistle and that type of seed. What we got, it had sunflower seed, cracked corn, milo, which is sorghum, which is really good, and millet, which is a cereal grain. And we put that into 2 plots. We mixed soybeans into those 2 plots. They're doing incredible. We had 1 plot with no soybeans. That one is struggling. So what is our recommendation for food plots? You want to go with the Deer Banquet, which has the 3 clovers in it, and you want to go with the deer seed for the pheasants, and you want to mix that with soybeans. We'll let you know next year how the soybean plot itself did, and our idea there is something to give the deer to feed on all through the black powder season, the late season, and through winter to be able to pick at, to hold the deer into the area. In the woods all around us, we did a bunch of tree hinging, and we've already seen a benefit in that. Well, let's get out there and take a look at these plots so you can see for yourself, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now let's get going. For our first food plot here, we have a plot of clover. We planted Buck Banquet in here last year, which has the different types of clover in it. And as the annual stuff dies off, the clover remains. And you can see this is just an incredible clover field here. So the Buck Banquet did an incredible job for us. This is our second food plot. What we did here is we put in oats here last year with red clover. So what I did this year is I tilled that under and I put in soybeans. And so we've got soybeans growing all through here with a little bit of the clover and some grasses from the oats that we had in here last year. And this here, I would say, it's questionable right now of how this is going to turn out. The beans are really coming in nice, and you can see them here if we do a close-up. So those are going to do real well for us, we believe, and that's going to give us some winter crop. So late gun season, they'll be in here eating the beans, and of course through winter it will give them something to come in and eat on. In our food plots, what we do is we till the ground up 2 to 3 times. So we'll till it up and let it set for a couple weeks. We'll till it up again, and if we feel that there weren't any weeds coming up, we'll plant it at that time. If we see a bunch of stuff coming up, we'll till it that 3rd time and then plant it. We do not use any weed killer. We don't kill anything off. We do not use any fertilizers. This here is our next food plot. Really, this is the tractor lane going down through our valley. We wanted to try something this year. We wanted to try the Buck Banquet since the deer just loved it last year, and then you get the clover after that. And it goes all the way down through our valley. So let's get looking at a few of our other food plots here. Here's our 4th food plot. What we wanted to do is we wanted to try something for not only the deer, but for the pheasants as well. So we went and grabbed birdseed. And in this birdseed, what we have is we have sunflower, we have corn, we have millet, and we have milo. So all really good seed producers. The other thing that we did is we mixed beans in with this. So you're going to see some beans in here, which have really grown nicely. We were suspect with the birdseed. Again, we don't use any fertilizers or weed killer, and everything is just growing great. We did do a plot without the beans to see how that would go, and it's not producing as well as this plot here. For our next plot, it's not really a food plot. This is a bedding plot, and this is Sunhemp Grass. This grass is supposed to get up to 10 feet tall, so we're trying to give them a corridor from the wood sections here of tall grass and some bedding area. You can see our Sunhemp Grass goes right up through here And then we've got another birdseed food plot right there. Again, those are mainly for the pheasants. Here's the next birdseed food plot. And you can see the sunflower is doing well in here. We did add the soybeans in here. They're doing well. So it's coming along. You can see the sunflower seeds are really taking off. So this will be a good pheasant plot and to help with the pheasant population. Here's our next food plot. This again we put into the buck banquet. We had the rut and ready in here last year. The deer just tore it up and loved it. But this buck banquet has great stuff in it. You can see your radishes in here. You can see your chicory, and it's going to come in then after this with the clover. And this is really nice looking, and the deer are going to really tear this up this year. And what we want to do again is have the clover next year, and then we'll push our food plot over here. On the rest of this field here, since it's surrounded all by woods here, we're keeping it into tall grass. We do have a couple more food plots back here we're going to show you. And back here, instead of doing the Sunhemp Grass, we did the Switchgrass, which is supposed to be a much sweeter grass. Gets tall, still gets 8 foot tall, and make a good bedding area for the deer. For our next food plot, this one we kind of divided into two. We did our buck banquet here. It's really turning out nice. You can see everything's up there, and the clover is starting. Over here, we did our birdseed again. And this birdseed field here is not doing as well as the other ones are doing. We did not add beans in this one. And I recommend birdseed. Go down and get some soybeans and add a few soybeans to it. Right here we have our switchgrass, and it's coming in really nice. And this stuff's expensive, so we just wanted to do a small plot here. So we're going to see how this stuff grows, how well it does, how it seeds, and we'll go from there. If it does really great, we'll add more next year. If not, then we'll go try something else. For our last food plot, we planted buck banquet again. Reason is to take advantage of that clover for next spring. This is a real hot stand. We are surrounded by woods all the way, and it comes up from a big river down here at the bottom here. This food plot has not grown as fast as the ones out there in the sun because there's a lot of shade here, but the timing of this could be perfect. Time the archery season comes in, this is going to be nice and ready. Clover should be getting up there to 3-4 inches. It should really draw in the deer. So our recommendations here at MW Outdoors is to go with the buck banquet. The reason is it's got things that the deer like in it. You got your radishes, you got your chicory, but it's got that clover. It's got a couple of different varieties of clover in it that will come back next spring, and this would be just solid clover, and we can move this food plot up just on the edge here and take advantage of both that way. I also recommend the birdseed. Birdseed has been doing incredible for us, as you can see in a couple of our plots, but add soybeans with it. Here are the percentages of the seeds for our rut and ready, and again you can see this is annual, but you got your radishes, your rapeseed, turnips, kale. The recommendation of MW Outdoors is the deer banquet. You can see the different types of seeds here. It's got the 3 different types of clover. This is just an incredible food plot. We also recommend doing something for the pheasants. Go down and buy your birdseed from Menards that has only your sunflower, mallow, mullet, and cracked corn.